Welcome to this segment that you all have been waiting for. Karibuni as well to our new home here at Imori Hotel at the heart of Kilelesha, where you're given service beyond a smile. This is our very first episode of our new season of Nderemo Africa. A new look. I do hope you guys love it. And the first guest on this episode is a lady who is the eighth born in a family of 9. Karibu sana to Nderemo Africa. I hope that is a befitting introduction.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes.
No problem.
Tumeonyesha watu vile hawawezi kukuchezea, mko wengi kwenye. Karibu sana.
A whole army
behind you.
Yes.
Karibu sana to Nderemo Africa.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
It's also a pleasure to host you here.
Great.
Introduce yourself. Many of our viewers might have listened to your music and might not know you that much. Introduce yourself.
My name is Sarah M. I'm born again. I am married to a gentleman called Mwangi, and I'm a mother of 3. And what else? Yes, as he said, I'm an 8th born in a family of 9. Yeah, and I'm blessed to be here.
All right. And let's get right into it. You probably share a bit of your background with us.
I come from Kirinyaga County. That's where I'm born. I went to school there, primary school, secondary school, and then God graced me to go to university in Moi, in Eldoret. Yes, yeah.
And you study something very different with what you're doing right now. You're an environmentalist.
Yes.
Is that what you practice?
Yes, I practice it partly as a consultant. Yes.
I could name you as a newbie in the gospel music industry.
They call us uprising.
Uprising. Tuwachana na mambo ya uprising. You're here already. Of course, God has given you the talent. You're no longer uprising. You're here. Right?
Thank you.
Yes.
Great.
When did you realize you could sing?
I've been singing like everybody else does. But when I was in secondary school, I could have chances to sing during the Christian Union, and I could hear people telling me, "Oh, you can sing." But then I did not take it very seriously. When I went to the university, I joined the choir, so we used to sing in choir, alto, but heavy voice, and then. After college, I did not do much of singing. I was very comfortable in the pews in the church until last year. That is 2017, beginning of last year. That's when I joined the praise and worship. Sometimes I could not make it to go to church, and I could stay home and fellowship with the the church services on TV, and through that time I was praying to God, and I was telling him I need to know what to do. If I have to continue with my church where I used to fellowship, I need grace to be able to make all those trips, and I have small kids. And during that time when I was in the house, that's when I started writing songs. Songs just started coming. And I realized sometimes God needs to take you through that process and period where you are not really very comfortable and relying on what you know and what you do all the time. And I feel that is the period that God really came and spoke to me and gave me the songs. And from there I hit the studio.
All right. You know, most of us don't trust that process where God takes us through. It's usually a dry period where most of the things that you expect Him to do, He doesn't do them at the time that you expect it.
Exactly.
He says that for gold to be gold, it has to go through fire.
Yeah, exactly.
What inspires Sarah to sing?
My songs are inspired from the Word, reading the Word. You know, there are some words that you can really read and they strongly, speak to you. But some are inspired through that. Others are inspired by daily experiences, mine and even my friends. The others are inspired, yes, by nature, seeing the greatness of God. You know, He said, let this be, and it's there. Everything is just there, nature running by, through His power, just to worship Him. That's my inspiration.
If you are asked, what is your main reason for doing gospel music? And why did you choose gospel music? I mean, there are lots of other music that you could have decided to sing, but why specifically gospel music?
I would say first, since I started knowing myself, I knew myself when I was in the church. That's where my mom took me to the church. So I've always grown in church, and that is backed by the word that teach your child on the way to follow, and even when they grow up, they will never depart from that. And I believe that is what has happened to me. And now as I grew, it stopped being just what I was taught by my mother. It made sense to me to believe in God and to worship Him. So my singing is a ministry. It's what God has called me to do. There are those who are called to preach and who are feeding me. I'm called to sing and to worship God. And through that, He has put that gift in me to even write songs that can minister to many other people. So mine is ministry, yes, and I'm here to be used. Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk a bit about your songs. You have an album already with 6 songs?
Yes, with
6 songs. Now there's one particular song in your album that really ministers to me. I actually love it. It is Atakuja Kukuangalia.
Yes.
It is a song that it starts with keys, right?
Yes. Yes.
I love that song.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you.
Let's talk a bit about it. What inspired you to sing that particular song?
That song, I wrote it while I was in pain. And I had a relative who is very close to me. And she was passing through a lot. And I had walked with her. Through the pain. But then at some point, I could not help her. I even didn't have the strength nor resources to really help her at least lighten the burden. And I remember I went to my bedroom and prayed to God that, Lord, you need to come. You need to come. And I heard that word in Numbers 23 that says that God is not a man that He should lie, neither is He a man that, He can regret why He said something. So I started speaking to that lady wherever she was, that the Lord Himself will come to save you. I might not be in a position to do it, but there is a God who promises and does, who will come and save you. Yeah.
Atakuja
kukuangalia. Mngojee Bwana. Stand firm. For this battle is not ours.
Now I realize most of your songs are worship. Do you do any other different genre apart from worship?
For now, I've done worship, probably because I'm a worshiper. That's what I do even in my church. But you never know what God will do tomorrow. Probably another kind of genre will come.
How has the journey been so far? The new artist in the music industry.
Hey. I was very excited when I was writing the songs, and I could not sit before I went to the studio. But when I went to the studio, actually the first time I just went to someone, to my producer, just to inquire and know what I need. That's when I realized it's not easy, because it's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's a bit expensive to do the song, especially now that I was doing it. So that was one of the challenges. It affected me, but I want to thank God because of the kind of support I got from my husband. actually we had to shelve some of the projects that we were doing as a family to fund that, but it wasn't easy because that disrupted a lot. The other thing now, after the songs are out, is the marketing bit of taking them out there. It's not very easy, and I'm thanking God. He has been so gracious, and I know that once you put something on God, wakati si wewe umejiita, ni yeye amekuita. He makes a way. He makes a way where there seems to be no way. So as much as taking it out there to media has not been easy, I am here. And I want to thank family for this.
All right, I tend to believe in every person's journey. They have someone or people who they look up to. I would call them mentors. Do you have any people who you look up to their music? They inspire you to do what you do. Are there people that mentor you?
I don't know whether I'm making this a very family issue, probably because I'm in family TV. But then my inspiration started from home. I told you I was writing this song, Hiding. So one time I just sang one of the songs and asked my husband, whose song do you think that is? And he was like, I'm not sure. And I told him it's mine. And then he said, wow, then you need to go to the studio. So he has encouraged me every step of the way. I also have my pastor, Reverend Wakonyo. He has been a great inspiration. He has walked with me through the whole journey of recording. He could, where the songs, let me leave it and that. And then there are people who have inspired me all through, even when I didn't know I would ever sing. Like Sarah Kay, she has been a blessing. Ruth Wamoyo, she has been a blessing. Evelyn Wanjiro, I've loved the way she is doing her ministry, and many others. Maybe I would mention. Actually, I think we have many people that God.
Now, you're almost nearing the end of the interview.
So far.
And the people outside there, gospel artists, they call themselves uprising. But to me, just as I've told you, you're no longer uprising because you have already made the first step. So you're no longer uprising. Of course, we wish you all the best. We want to see you where you want to see yourself. But now speak to people outside there who maybe check themselves as uprising, who have that gift, who have that talent in them, and they are thinking, how do I just start? Yeah.
Okay, what I would want to say to someone who is out there and knows that they have a gift, please don't sleep on it. So take the first step. You know you can sing, take the first step. We are here. We can talk and help each other. I also had someone who helped me. For many years, I just sang this year, and you can see I'm not a young girl. So please don't. Let your goal be one, to glorify God. That's the only way He will lift you up.
Now, I believe you've grown up listening to gospel music. There are those legendaries like the late Kinangela Spalonza. We've had that kind of gospel ministers to this point where we have Kinaniwi, we have other ministers of the gospel. Now, there's been a difference in music, the kind of music that they have had.
Yeah.
The ones you guys are singing, the ones that I wouldn't love to mention names, that people are singing. Now I'm trying to show you that there's been a shift. Yeah. What would be your take on that shift? What do you take of it?
Yes, there has been a shift. At times you may listen to the songs and really wonder what is the inspiration behind that. And I think what I think that the focus, is it the focus or the goal for the singing, what drives the singing, has at some time changed, and people are running to making money and wealth. And when you get into that, you'll be, running to read songs after songs, and you will not take time to really listen. So your content may be inspired by something different that is telling you. People are conforming to the world rather than having their minds renewed. So I think that's what I would say for now. And what I believe, change of genres is not wrong as long as the content is right. So I think we need a lot of mentorship. You put me in this group, the current group. We need a lot of mentorship. Yeah.
All right. And do you think, where you think, okay, now this is the gospel industry, where are you seeing it going in the near future? Are we heading to the right direction? And if we are not, what should we do? If we are heading to the right direction, what do we need to do to keep up?
Like I said, I would not say the gospel industry is heading to the wrong direction. I think it's, yes, heading to the wrong direction, and at the same time, heading to the right and wrong. I mean, we serve a God, a mighty God, not to see when we serve Him, He will serve us. He's not an unfair God. Yes.
The good thing is that God always leaves the remnant. So the few who are deviating from the right route, God will always leave remnants, bring them to the right route.
Yes, that is true.
Yes.
The remnants must also take their place.
Yes.
Wacha tusibaki kulaumiana, oh kina fulani, their songs do not have content. Why are these people not in secular? They are in gospel, so there is a faith in them that a good thing. So what we need to do is remove the thorns that are really spoiling the seed. And
naturally.
Yeah.
So it's been an honor to have you on Nderemo Africa, our first artist on our first episode this season.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored. I'm so honored being in such a beautiful place with you.
Yes, it's an honor as well. And of course, we also take pride in you allowing us to play the rest of your songs for the first time.